There's been lots of talk about 5G, but most of the people don't even know what that means. So what is 5G? It's the fifth generation of cellular technology. It all begins with 1G. The first wireless cellular technology. Remember cell phone with antenna back in the days? Well, they used 1G. 1G support voice-only calls. 2G allowed us text for the first time. 3G brought us online. 4G is the current standard which is now being used in many developed countries on their mobile devices. The next advancement is 5G. 5G is able to handle 1,000 times more traffic than 4G network. And it is 10 times faster than 4G, allowing massive amount of data to be transferred instantly. Just imagine downloading an HD movie under a second. Isn't that amazing? There are 5 new technology emerging as a foundation of 5G, which is millimeter wave, small cells, massive MIMO, beamforming, and full duplex. So, how does all these technologies work? Firstly, millimeter waves. Before 5G, mobile devices and electronics always use very specific frequency on the frequency spectrum, usually lower than 6 GHz. But these frequencies are starting to get more crowded as more devices use the same frequency on the frequency spectrum. When more devices come online, we start experiencing slower services or more drop connection. The solution is to open up the high bands, which known as millimeter wave, which range from 30 to 300 GHz. Opening it up means increases the bandwidth available for more devices. But it requires shorter wavelengths. It means that they are unable to travel long distance, and millimeter wave can't travel well through obstacles, and it is also easily absorbed by moisture. So, why does engineer build systems that can't travel far? That leads to the second technology of 5G, small cell network. Higher frequency millimeter wave unable to travel long distance, and it have a hard time travel through obstacles, so it is unable to connect to our devices that easily. But this can be solved by setting up small base stations that can reroute signals and allow the signals to reach our devices. These small cell towers are much smaller than the typical cellular towers. This can be very useful as it can be set up in everywhere, even on our street lamps. Third technology, which is massive MIMO. MIMO stands for multiple input, multiple output. It allows more signal to be transmitted. This is implemented by installing more antennas as an array in a small cell. Today, 4G base stations have about a dozen ports for antennas that handle all cellular traffic. But massive MIMO can support about 100 ports and turn increase the network capacity. However, massive MIMO has its difficulties, which is the cellular antenna broadcasts information in every direction, and all those crossing signals cause serious interference. The problem of having so many antennas installed is addressed by the next technology that will be introduced is the beamforming. Beamforming is like a traffic system that will be used to handle data traffic signaling. Instead of broadcasting in every direction, it determines the most efficient data delivery route in a 5G network. The next technology will be full duplex. For example, walkie-talkie needs to take turns to talk and listening. Today's cellular base station has the exact same hold-up. The basic antenna can only do one job at a time, either transmit or receive. In a 5G network, the use of full duplex will allow data to be transmitted and received on base station transceiver at the same time using the same frequency. So what is a smart port? A smart port is an automated port that uses nascent technologies such as big data, Internet of Things, blockchain solutions to improve performance and economic competitiveness. It can also improve environmental sustainability. The 5G will have important role to play in parts for one main reason, which is the Internet of Things in parts. Internet of Things, which is also known as IoT, can be considered an important technological revolution related to smart cities, smart home, smart factories, and smart port implementation. With IoT, everything in part can be connected. For IoT to be fully operational and implemented in parts, 5G is needed as a technology capable of offering the necessary bandwidth. For instance, the containers are implemented with chips. Track, locate, and position them after scanning the data inside. Program autopilot driverless truck to move containers. Program autopilot trucks are programmed to follow routes to complete their assigned tasks. These tasks can be controlled through a centralized and computerized control system. A smart port may be defined as a fully automated port where all devices are connected via the so-called IoT smart port. A network of smart sensors, wireless devices, and data centers make up the key infrastructure of the smart port, which allows the port authorities to provide essential services in a faster and more efficient manner. For example, with local sensors on board of port vehicle, this technology will improve productivity by increasing operational efficiency thanks to fast cycle time and continuous 24 hours operation.
With 5G, total internet access in an extensive port area with maritime infrastructure can be achieved to ensure the quality of fast connection between the Internet of Things. For example, the connection between ships implementing containers and driverless truck. It is because of instead of broadcasting in many directions at once, the beam forming only focuses on a signal in a concentrated beam that points only in the direction of a user. In short, 5G not only strengthens the chances of complete signal arrival, as well as reduce the interference for other users. With 5G, it ensures steady efficient port operation by controlling the traffic signal and maximize the traffic flows automatically with good signal management to maximize the throughput of goods. The cellular-enabled traffic lights can be remotely operated by port workers to be more responsive to traffic flows. Secondly, sensors that installed in the port ferries help to transmit ferries movement and environmental data in real time, as well as the environmental data of a large area of the port. This idea enables us to see what is happening across the port. For example, it allows trucking carriers to reserve a specific time for dropping off or picking up their goods. This reduces their turnaround times and prevents incoming traffic from sitting idle on the roads, flushing out pollutants that affect air quality. Furthermore, the 3D information can be transmitted to an augmented reality application. This new standard makes high data volumes available quickly outside of existing networks, transmitting 3D data to an augmented reality application. For example, use smart glasses to show users the building data relating to future or former structures in a real environment. In the future, this technology will help engineers to monitor or optimize construction planning directly on site by calling out additional information such as former building data or receiving remote interactive support from an expert. By establishing smart ports, we can promote environmental sustainability through reducing emissions. As a result of effectiveness of 5G networks and IoT, the ideal times for ships and transmit time for goods can be minimized, which in turn helps to cut down emissions. Adoption of 5G smart ports will ultimately drive new changes and have huge environmental impact. It is estimated that the use of 5G to optimize port activities will allow an 8.2% reductions in CO2 emissions. To address worker safety concerns, automated activities in smart port can contribute greatly to create a much safer work environment while strengthening productivity. In an automated terminal, employee roles are mostly in supervision and process management. As people and machinery are separated, major accidents can be reduced. In terms of productivity, better coordination for truck loading among truck drivers, traffic management system, cranes, and container loaders can be achieved by implementing 5G networks. In general, implementing 5G networks in ports promotes safety, economic efficiency, and effectiveness. For that reason, ports all over the world, from small ports in emerging economies to the world's biggest trading hubs, must adopt smart port technologies to become more productive and efficient, provide better customer service, and create new revenue streams.